all the options, and with reverence to my Guru, Swami Nirbhayananji Saraswati, my mother, my grandfather, who initiated me into Bhagavad Gita, and Swami Chinmayananji. And today, apart from referring to the commentary by Swami Ranganathanandaji of Ramakrishna Mission, I have also taken references from Swami Aparajitananda. He is a saint from Chinmaya Mission, and his talks are also excellent. Young saint in Mangalore, but his YouTube lectures are there. Very much in deep, very clear, great examples. And of course, Swami Sarvapriyananda. So with that, those references, I will start. The disclaimer I would like to give again is that I am also not an expert, but when we, share our thoughts and when we prepare, is reading as well as connecting with God, meditation, and of course, always in connection with my Guru. So those things, when we express, it does more good to us than to the viewers. We both will be benefited. So that way, I have taken up this initiative to share my views, requested by some of my colleagues. But then, as I said, it is very interesting because both the discussions will help more than coming from one side. It is a discussion, and when you listen, when you ask queries, when you add, it adds a lot of value to these sessions. So we are in the chapter 14. Bhagavad Gita is the guide. It's actually a guide. There are a lot of, there's one small girl who speaks, who says, don't you have manual? I think it was she. And there was another boy, young boy. There are some 2-3 boys, 2-3 children which come on the YouTube. So these are all child prodigies in Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta. Extraordinary they speak, and extraordinary is their knowledge. So that only says that they have done a lot of homework in their past life. One of the such video says that small boy who lives in Ayodhya, I think, he had come to Ayodhya and what was that, Kumbh Mela. So he ISKCON devotee. He says, he's told very boldly, when you buy any instrument, when you buy a car, when you buy a TV, when you buy any device, don't you use a manual? So why can't you use Bhagavad Gita as a manual for life? So Gita is a very, very 100% pakka guideline and a manual which we have to go through when we are stuck. And precisely the scene or the background is also exactly the same. That is when Arjuna gets stuck in being indecisive. He is in dilemma and he thinks what he is thinking is right. And he tries to convince Sri Krishna that, Krishna, I don't think what you're telling is correct. You are asking me to fight, but no, this is what it is. And confidently he puts his points. But as Krishna takes him out of that grief and substantiates, giving logical explanations, and then he gets convinced. And another thing which happens is, like Arjuna, all of us get stuck in one or the other problems or dilemmas. And today's generation, I see relationships to begin also is becoming a dilemma. To maintain is becoming a dilemma, or to sustain at any age, because people are not able to decide what is good, what is bad, what is dharma, what is adharma. Should we put up, should we not put up? That is professional as well as personal. I'm not talking only about personal relationships. So here also it is relationship only which comes on the way. So Bhagavad Gita will tell us the rational thinking, but what is required is we have to surrender our ego at the feet of Lord Krishna, who is the author, and his teachings. Only then this Gita will be a manual. And that is what exactly Krishna says. Only if people have Shraddha. Don't tell this to people who don't have. And once we start understanding, with every year, it gives a different perspective, different meaning. And whenever we read, it solves our problem. That is the greatest beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So we have gone through all these chapters, and many people say, whenever there are issues, don't give us lectures. You just tell me what we should do, or just listen to us. So all that will give only superficial solutions. Gita is the one whoever advises based on Gita, and whether people advise or not, we ourselves can open the book and understand. If we don't understand, there are so many lectures by so many great seers. If we go through whichever suits you, if you understand and implement as it is, Krishna always says, principally you implement, principally. So then it comes. And this is the basic thing. So when you open, when you understand, when you implement, and then you will really find, and you will find that it is working, that the solutions are working. So the biggest thing, gift of Bhagavad wisdom. It is a jnana. It is rich. Not that he will not solve your problem. He will give you the ability to solve. Swami Vivekananda used to say, do not catch fish for people. Teach them the art of fishing. Because today we will solve one problem. And nobody can solve actually, because we have our own issues, our own perspective, our own experiences, and our swabhava and gunas, which we have discussed. So that will determine how we are going to solve the problem in our own way. But Gita is universal. Whatever guna you are, whatever you are, you will find that it is going to be beneficial. But for that, as I said, surrender is required, and under true understanding requires real devotion, Shraddha. You have to put really effort. If we don't have faith, we should not open Bhagavad Gita. We should not tell also people. We should let them be whatever they are. And lastly, Bhagavad Gita is for our own self. It's for us. It is to change ourselves. It is not for changing others. If we change, everything will change, because the way we look at things will be changing. Our perspective will change. So there was one small story. It's not story. It is a event. I should say example given by somebody. Maybe you would have heard that, and I would have explained. Every day the couple sits and they have cup of tea with biscuits and all, and they look at the balcony, and then they see that there's another building, because the apartments are close by. And the lady says, see, look at them, they have put the clothes for drying, and they're so dirty. I mean, even the glass is also, their glass is also dirty, the clothes are dirty. Why do they do like that? He says, it's okay. Why are you bothered about others? Our batte, our balcony, let them do whatever they want. Then next day again, sometimes there is a habit of complaining, habit of finding faults, no? So she keeps doing that. Then one day, she sits and says, Arey, how come today I'm seeing very clean clothes, clean balcony? Then the husband says, no, no, I have cleaned our glass. I have cleaned our glass, so you are seeing it clearly. So what happens is, we have to do cleaning for ourselves. Then we can see the things clearly. They are as it is. So whether they are dirty, or first thing is whether their house is dirty, their clothes are dirty, it's not our botheration. Why should we comment? Second thing is, when we cleanse ourselves, then we can see, and Bhagavad Gita does this cleansing thing. It cleans our mind to think rationally, to see the things as it is. Then we will not find faults in the system. So first thing is, we have to improve ourselves. So Krishna has gone through so many chapters, and now we have come to this 3 gunas. So as we have discussed the basic, since we have gone a little more ahead, this is to understand our own nature and where do we stand. How can I improve? Where are we? How can I improve? And do we need to improve first of all? Because what is the purpose of improvement? Why should I improve? What are the advantages? Today he tells that. So Krishna has categorized 3 types of personalities or thinking or mindset. Three types of mindset. So each one, sattvika, rajasic, and tamasic. We have discussed that. There are 3 categories of people or thought process. We cannot judge or brand them as sattvikyun, rajasikyun, angila. All the 3 are there in one person. The same mind can become sattvic to rajasic, rajasic to tamasic. And we presume that when I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, when I'm doing puja, when I'm doing meditation, I think I am sattvic only and somebody else is not. It's not like that. As I said, if you have done that exercise, you will realize that we ourselves are not the same throughout the day, and all the 3 will exist. So our effort should be to go grow from tamasic to rajasic to sattvic. What is tamasic? We discussed that it is the lowest level as far as evolution is concerned. It is characterized by laziness, sleeping, ignorance, miscomprehension, even procrastination, that we do postpone the things. ಇವತ್ತು ಬೇಡ, ನಾಳೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೇಡ. This is also tamasic. It's all there in us. Sleep is there. Sleeping at the wrong time, getting up late in the morning, which doesn't synchronize with the chronology of the nature. That is also tamasic only, actually. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ರೊಳಗೂ ಇರ್ತದೆ. That is the lowest level. Then comes rajasic, which we discussed, ambitious, active, always restless to do more, 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 because there is also a greed that leads to anxiety, fear. It may lead to disappointments and a troubled mind, actually. A disturbed mind. Mind is not relaxing, it is not stable, unstable mind. These are the people who are most likely to go into mental health as well as physical health problems. But they may take good care. It's not that they are totally gone. They are definitely better than the tamasic, because there is definitely an awareness compared to tamasic. No, there is an awareness. There is an awareness, but something holds them egoistic. Sometimes they are. This is a predominant rajasic I'm talking about. Rajasic mindset, not people, mindset. Then sattvic is a very calm, and it does activities, but with a broader interest. It is selfless and it relaxes. It is happy. It is able to solve the problems effortlessly and more inclined towards spirituality. It derives more and more pleasure. It gets delighted. This mindset gets delighted when it gets connected with other sattvic people, and particularly, getting connected with the higher consciousness, and it wants to be there, and it is not, as I said, it finds solutions. It knows how to solve. Rajasic is not very clear about solutions, and it is not, Rajasic mindset always is confused. It will not neither listen to the solutions which are available. It knows that there is something, but still that ego is there, which will prevent, and more of, external achieving, position oriented, qualification oriented, or trying to rule. So these are all the characteristics. Some anger, but today Swami Parajitananda was saying, it may be required in our profession that we have to be rajasic at times, we have to be sattvic at times, because it's like the police department. They have to show anger, they have to take action, but our effort should be to come back to sattvic mode. The aim should be to grow from tamasic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how, where we are. So, but we have to observe in a day how much time we spend, how much time our mind is in sattvic mode, rajasic mode, tamasic mode, how much time we spend. That determines our character, actually. So if we, that means we have to be conscious, we have to be aware, and we have to see where are we, and we have to immediately come back. So if we are, and this effort matters a lot. This effort matters a lot, because without effort, the guna will not change. Human effort God has given. We may say that the Prakriti does everything. I am not the doer, correct, but there is a choice, there is an awareness. That part is there. It is also part of Prakriti. But when we become aware of that and we decide that I will spend morning few hours meditating, or reading good books, or listening to something, and afternoon I work, my work is there, and then evening again I come back, I surrender everything to God. By doing this, what happens is we are spiritualizing our day-to-day activities, and surrender, and keep remembering that in one way or the other. It's not possible for a working professionals to sit throughout the day. It's not possible for anybody to sit meditating throughout the day if we are involved in our as a household, grihasthashram. Sannyasis, they do that only. They just leave, and they are completely devoted. 24/7 they will be chanting, meditating throughout. That is not possible. So Bhagavad Gita gives a solution and says what to do during the daytime, what should be your attitude there, and each one is growing, evolving. So when we feel we have become too much of alasi, too much of rajasic andre, we can come back, and then if we should be aware, awareness is important. Come back, surrender. End of the day, we do prayers and surrender to God. And what we say, no, kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava. Kaya vacha manasa buddhi. Kaya is with the hands, vacha is with my words, manas is mind, buddhi is the intellect above that. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakriti swabhava. All these are because of prakriti anta krishnaniಗೆ. Karomi yatyat sakalam parasme narayanayati samarpayami. I will do it in your, I will do it as a service to you ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡೀಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ if we offer, then automatically the mind goes into sattvic mode. Recently there was, I should tell you this one. After that we start to the shlokas. The person had insomnia for quite some time. He's diabetic since 25 years, and then somehow he started facing a lot of problems, elderly person in his life. Then what he did was he decided that I will now, he is not a god loving, or he is not not conditioned towards spirituality basically, but a good person. Then what he did was he put one rule for himself. A principled person, very very principled person. In fact, there are so many people who just don't say, who don't read Gita, who don't read Veda, Upanishad, temple go hogala, but their life is highly sattvic. So sattvic people who are not actually showing that they are devotees, they may not be devotees, but they believe in action, right action. They don't hurt others. They are always helping. They are calm also. They may not be believing God. So that is immaterial. So this man, he was doing that. So what happened was he was not having sleep for the past, I think, when he called me, he said about 7 to 8 years. Then he asked, you are telling Bhagavad Gita, I heard this, I heard that. But I'm not, madam, I'm not so much tuned to it, but I'm practicing something. And then I was also telling, no, there is no need for you to read Gita or something, but just be positive, be calm, do pranayam, positive. I am be feeling better, auto suggestions. So one more thing he put for himself was, it seems he used to gossip and criticize people, judge people. ಮಾತಿನೊಳಗು ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಈಸ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ he will talk away, ಅವ್ರು ಹಿಂಗಾತು ಹಿಂಗಾತು, he'll entertain, he will not initiate, but when people talk now, he will entertain. And he used to be the mind used to be restless, and he says, I want to take anxiety, or I said, don't take that, do pranayam when you sleep, and breathing exercise, I gave him all suggestion. Now since last 1 month, of course, vitamin D, B12, everything, he was already on that. Now he has decided he will not gossip, he will not talk about anybody. And whatever was bothering him, I was telling just like that, you need not think about it. And idralle attachment, it says, nissangatvam, they say. I did not use that word. I told, just don't think about it. Just leave it. When that thought comes, no, do something. One, he used to remember Shiva anta one ನೆನೆಸ್ತಿದ್ರು. Said, either you remember that, or if you are not used to it, just stop and divert. Two things he started practicing. One, basic andre, not to judge people, not to comment on people, not to gossip, not to criticize. Adu ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, now he is developed interest towards Bhagavad Gita, is developed interest towards everything. Since 2-3 months he is practicing that, 3 months only. But it has worked magical. He himself developed that principle. I'm not going to judge anybody. He's quite a senior person, and he had a good position also. But insomnia was there. And ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ madam, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ? 3 months from the last month, no, he says, I'm getting such good sleep. So sattvic, what I'm trying to say is, and his sugars are reduced, BP is under control. So sattvic mindset can have a tremendous impact on physical health also, because it sets our homeostasis right. As I said, from hypothalamus, stress comes from hypothalamus, and pituitary gland and adrenal gland and that HPA axis, so cortisol, everything must have stabilized. It looks like that. See how this one, I mean, this is my thinking. I don't have I have an evidence to show his sugars, BP have reduced, he's sleeping well. So sattvic nature can treat insomnia, and it may also, as I said, anxiety, depression, early stages. frank cases we have to treat with medications, but early stage, if we start thinking like this, then it would have a tremendous impact on the mental health. So now, with that, now we come to the 12th shloka, I think. No, sorry, 11th one. So we have discussed about sattva, what is rajas, what is tamas, and how do they bind. If you remember, we have to get rid of I mean, we have to understand the gunas to understand what is the cause of suffering. And when you understand the, all are medical professionals here, but other viewers are not. But when you understand the root cause of anything, then you will treat accordingly. So now we are understanding what is binding us, what is causing misery. It is nothing but these gunas. So we will try to see how it can be, how we can release ourselves from these gunas, so that we experience a permanent freedom from these miseries. That is enlightenment. It is a long goal, but we will have short goals. That's a final goal, but we have to fix it. Short, immediate goals are what we keep one step at a time and move towards sattvic. How do we grow towards sattvic? That is should be our aim. Now he says, how does a, I mean, so he's talking about how does a sattvic person look? How does he's going more in detail about the properties or description of these mindsets. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत. So he says, when through every sense organ in this body, sarvadvareshu means these are sense organs. Sarvadvara, dvara means gates. Here in Gita and Upanishads also, they call it as Navadvare Pure Dehi. This body has got 9 gates, dwara. So what are these? 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 6, 1 mouth. Alva? 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 6, plus 1 mouth, 1 anus, 1 genital. What did we list? What did we leave? So these are all the gates. Which gates means through which the external impulses reach our body and we react. External impulses reach our body and we react. Correct? No, 6 plus 3. Correct. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, anus, genitals. So interaction with the external world will result in reaction. So inputs come from there. No? So therefore, they are called Navadvara. 9 gates. So when through every sense organ, the light of intelligence shines, then it should be known that sattva is predominant. How do we know that we are predominant? What is the meaning of this? Means in every action, there is an amount of awareness. This is what it says. Every action, the person becomes conscious of everything, what he is watching, what he is listening. Illandre mostly we are absent-minded. Ruby, make it a subconscious activity. Whether this is, he becomes very active, alert, and see every activity. No, we must understand why these gunas are important, as we said, because the gunas will tell us how much of Valagin the consciousness is reflecting. The gunas are the barriers for reflection of consciousness. Sattva is a lesser barrier. Rajas is a thicker barrier. Tamas is full barrier. So on the glass anta itkondre, that glass is very, very transparent for sattvic consciousness. Sattvic mindset will transmit like a glass. Ashtu luminous. Andre Valagin, you can make out this person. Not all the time. Let us think about us only. When we are able to solve so many things, when we become so happy, ecstatic. Happiness means not worldly thing. Somehow we have this one, and that thing, no, that consciousness reflection, that is a sattvic. So the rajasic is translucent and partially light transmit agat. Tamasic is totally opaque. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್, reflection of the divinity from within depends on these gunas. Here he says that, supposing beautiful, this I have nicely explained by Swami Chinmayananda. Beautifully he says, see, when you are calm and quiet, you are expressing very high qualities. Because nodri you, when you do puja, or when I have literally experienced, I told this to my daughter also, tough questions, tough strategies avaligeಲ್ಲ, she will have those things in her company. So I said, just go meditate and then start your work every day, and you will find that you will start getting solutions everywhere, because consciousness will start manifesting. I'm giving a very crude basic example. Much more than that is there. When you're agitated, no, rajasika iddaga namde ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, tough, angry, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾರ್ದು ಕೆಲಸದವ್ರು she did not work properly, you become angry and all that, and you come and sit and solve certain things, it will not work. And you will not think properly, you cannot express. Or when you're sleepy, when you're totally, very lethargic, many times it happens, no, we become like a potato couch, we sit there and watching TV throughout the day, ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, no output only, no expression of anything, activity ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, nothing will come. Our words and our thoughts and our mind's satisfaction, it will not be there. So when you, through every sense organ, the light of intelligence shines. Andre, whatever you see, you enjoy, you are conscious, and whatever you hear, you are alert, you are responding, you concentrate on every activity, and you will feel a different sense of vibration. That state is sattva. That state, no person alla, that state of mind, it could be anybody, it will be there in every person, that state. Then he says, lobha pravritti arambha karmanamashama spruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshava. So greed, lobha, pravritti, activity, arambha, undertaking action of actions, and arambha karmanam, ashamaha, unrest, spruha, longing. These arise when rajas is predominant in our own day routine. If we find that I found some site available and tell me they have called for something, let me apply, or I will purchase this apartment, it is doable, I can see, ಅಥವಾ car ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, anything. Greed means, lobha means more than what is required. We may justify, I'm able to afford, why should I not take? That's okay at one level. We are talking about spiritual level. For spiritual level, the greed is a obstacle. So lobha. And pravritti, activity means routinely we have to act, we have to cook, we have to do beyond that. So too much of activity, beyond, continuously I want to, nan kels yaro obru heltidru, I have to work, if I don't work is good, I'm not saying that. As long as our attitude and our consciousness, everything is aligned, then it becomes sattvic work. But when it is accompanied by all these, greed, along with overactivity and undertaking of, I want mugud kulle innondu adu tagolteni, idu tagolteni, idu tagolteni, aa project ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈ project ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, I will do multiple actions. And unrest, you may do actions, but if you are peaceful, you are sattvic. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. No problem. It's needed, so I have to act. Doctors, we have to work. If patient comes, we cannot say I will be rajasic if I go out and treat. No, our activity is activity. We have to treat. Our duty we have to do. But if it is at unrest, if it creates an unrest within us, then you have to take it as a rajasic. Something is there. Am I overburdened? Am I taking too many responsibilities which I need not take? Or where I should move now? It's causing me too much of unrest. Then that is rajasic. And longing, spruha, longing, or you can say, if I don't work, I will be restless. Longing for anything, longing. That means it indicates attachment. Nispruha. Nispruha actually is required. You should not have. Spruha means dukheshu, sukheshu vigata spruha ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಒಂದು ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ದುಃಖೇಶು ಅನುದ್ವಿಗ್ನ ಮನಃ, ಸುಖೇಶು ವಿಗತ ಸ್ಪೃಹ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ಪೃಹ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಂಗಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್. ಅದೇ ಗ್ರೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ದೆ ಇದು, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಂಗಿಂಗ್. They are similar, but they are slightly different. So these when they start coming in our mind, then that is a rajasic mindset. That is predominant. That time Rajas has pushed Tamas and Sattva down and it has come up. We discussed in the last session. Aprakasha pravrittischa, aprakashah apravrittischa, pramado moha evacha, tas tamasyetani jayante, vivruddhe kuru nandana. So, darkness, inertness, aprakasha is darkness, apravritti andre inertness. There we said activity. So does it contradict? Let us see how it is. Apravrittischa, pramado, miscomprehension or delusion, and delusion, sorry. Pramado is miscomprehension and moha evacha. These arise when tamas is predominant. Darkness. Darkness means not light, not absence of light. Darkness is when we don't know where we are going, where we are heading, what is the future is blank. ಅಂತ ಅದೇ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಅಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಕೂಡೋದು, ಮೈ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಈ ತರ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಇನರ್ಟ್ನೆಸ್, ಏನು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ, ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ, ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಕಾಂಪ್ರಹೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋದೇ ಒಂದು, ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೇ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು. Basically, it has two levels actually. I would put it like that. Miscomprehension is the highest level of miscomprehension is world. The true comprehension is what? I am not the doer. There is Prakriti. There is consciousness. This is a true comprehension. But at our day-to-day activities, no, many times somebody would have told some words or spoken something or done some action in a good intention. ಬಟ್ ನೋಡು ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲೇ ಇವಳು ಅಂದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಶಿ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು, ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. Maybe she put some photographs or something. She wants to make me feel bad, make me go through this because I don't have that. ನನಗೆ ಅವಳ ಹತ್ರ ಇರುವಂತ ಬಂಗ್ಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬಂಗ್ಲೋ ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕಾಮನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೀಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. Miscomprehension and living in that. That is also a level of miscomprehension, not understanding. You do. So what happens is, when we keep doing this again and again, no, our nature becomes predominantly tamasic. So we have to be very alert. Where am I going wrong? And alertness barlebeku. So predominantly tamasic iddaru, they are too negative, mostly because of ignorance. Madam, anything? Yeah. So predominantly tamasic iddaru, they will have this kind of thinking. So pramado, moha, delusion andre true knowledge is not there. It is covered, just like the smoke covers fire, they say like that. No, it becomes hazy. They cannot see beyond that. They cannot see the goodness in a person. They always make some conclusion based on whatever they have in their mind. ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. And also, apart from this, we have discussed, this is a mindset. Apart from that, he has also alasya, nidra, pramada, all that he has told. So these are the ways. Now, what should we do? We must observe in a day. Last time we did that. Anybody did that exercise? We observing our own routine. In which part of the time we are, or I'll come back in the end, and I will not put it on the, because maybe people are hesitant to speak out. We'll come to this exercise in the end. So in a day, if you observe what during which part of the day I was sattvic, during in the morning, afternoon, evening, or how many times I lost my temper, and how many times I became just inert, how many times I postponed activity. Ivattu adigene beda, I just cooked something, I did not clean. All these are tamasic only. What has to be done has to be done. That alertness throughout the day itkobeku antandre, we have to plan. Our goal is to become sattvic predominant. Tamasic and rajasic will be there. Sleep we cannot avoid. No, we have to sleep 8 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. We have to sleep. because that is part of our routine and we become active next day. But what happens during the remaining 16 hours in a day, that we have to be observant. This we cannot help as householder, as employed employees, or our work, whatever, employee or employer, whatever. We have to work. So we need that sleep. That is tamasic. Agreed. Let's leave that. But during rest of the time, what are we doing? So that time, if we have to be alert, and our aim should be to become, because we are spiritual seekers, and otherwise also everybody has to, one or the other day they will come to spirituality. Because what does sattvic nature do for a person? It brings lot of calmness and happiness. If going beyond gunas gives us enlightenment, going to sattvic itself will liberate us from the sorrows, miseries, and gives us the right solution. Isn't it the beauty of this arrangement? I was really, no, from the time I started reading gunas, no, of course, the 2-3 rounds we have done now, it is so fascinating. Going to sattvic, no, it is good for us only. It just requires one step to be alert, means we have to come down in our ego. Listen, somebody is talking, somebody is giving this direction, and let us listen and move on. This I'm telling to people. It means, I mean, for everybody. So now everybody has that. Some have predominant tamasic, some have predominant rajasic, some have predominant sattvic. Whatever level we are, let us try to grow one step above. Tumba laziness ittu, aramse ಹೇಳೋದು, eating junk food. ಆಮೇಲೆ nobody, no, ನಮ್ಮ colloquial language they say, no asker, no ಹೇಳೋರಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳೋರಿಲ್ಲ, no asker, no teller, ಹೇಳೋರಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳೋರಿಲ್ಲ. Particularly with due respects to the Gen Z, I respect them a lot because they are really, really moldable generation. But the lifestyle is not at all sattvic. If they get up late, they do gym, agree, but it is shifted down, and the food habits are not regular, and the consumption also is not all. I'm saying there are, if that is our thing, we can gradually move on. ಒಂದೊಂದೇ change ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. For example, Prashant sir, my ex colleague, I think Meda madam knows, in Dayanand Sagar. He said, Madam, I switched over to millet food. My sugars came totally normal, 10,000 steps every day. And I am not on, Madam, you know him, right? Prashant, principal. Now he told me, no, no medications for diabetes now. Totally zero. 10,000, 12,000 steps, millet dosa, millet other. If to switch over to that, no, if now I am diabetic, I am on medication. If I have to do that, I have to give up my tamasic is inertia to change. Now I have also to make up my mind. If it is doing good to me, then I should immediately implement. And how much I'm implementing, that is my growing from tamasic to rajasic, or it may become sattvic also. So this is how we have small things in our routine also, which we can work up. Do I have the ability? Do I accept it? Yes, anything is good, we should accept. ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we are getting into tamasic. If I say yes, if I say yes, I am one step. But until I implement, I have not overcome. I should implement, I should experiment. It is doing good to my health. It's a sattvic food. For diabetic, millet is a sattvic food because somebody has shown. He has shown the proof. It is reduce my HbA1c. I should move. Like that in our life, we have a lot of these attachments to certain things which will make us, which will bind actually. As we were saying, no habit of, I was having a habit of eating this betel nut. A bad habit. Adike tinnodu, North Karnataka we eat. Became too much. It became too much. I started getting health agovargu yaar helidru kelilla nanu. Nobody, my mother used to tell, everybody used to tell, don't eat so much of betel nut, it's not good for health. No, I did not, until I got toothache, and so then I said no, I will not. So why should I wait for something to happen? We can be preventive, no, taking actions which will make us, give up. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಶಿಗೆ, when they go to Kashi, they say ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬನ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. How many of you have gone to Kashi here? Anybody? Banaras? Anybody has? ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Suvarchala, Chaitali, Kavita, Padmini, Anita, anybody?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. Normally they say when you go to Kashi, you have to give up something and come. So people, on the food item, normally they leave food item. So they leave that and they come. So here in this shloka, no, darkness, inertness, apravritti. Then inertness means no activity is tamasic. Rajasic, we said activity is rajasic. That rajasic means activity should be there. Overact, it's not bad. Activity is rajasic mindset. Activity is rajasic mindset. Inactivity is tamasic. There was one guy, you know, this example, I think. He was sleeping on the beach, and somebody comes and asks him. He's just lying, taking sun bath every day from morning till evening. And he has some property or whatever. How he manages that is not known. But throughout the day, he's only doing that. He's watching sun, he's sleeping. Then somebody comes and asks him, "What are you doing here?" I'm enjoying. I go in the sea and I just swim. I come back. I enjoy. Hing ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, get up and do some work. And he's a young boy. Why should I work? So that you will earn money. Why should I earn money? So that you will have family, you will can marry. Why should I get married? You get married, you will enjoy and you will have children. And then after that, what will happen? After that, the grandchildren will come. What will it give you? It will give you a lot of happiness. So this fellow says, now also I'm happy. Why should I do that? ನನಗೆ ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ. This is not the way. This is tamasic apravritti. Andre, he is ignorant about this one. So now we'll come to, if he gets married and all, that becomes a rajasika pravritti. Then when he comes to sattvic also, he becomes apravritti. He will become less active when he goes to sattvic. But that sattvic and this tamasic, they are almost on the same, but with different wisdom. Understand that. Sattvic person is also, he has reduced his responsibilities, but he spends more time in the sattvic thoughts. Reduce means he will do work, but he will have that surrender attitude. So the attitude of sattvic and attitude of tamasic is rajasic is overactive, hyper. I will share one. Today I shared one image on my status also, because I was doing this chapter today. So he will be like this, sing tale itkondu ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ. Sattvic is very calm and tamasic is just lying down. Sattvic is also calm, tamasic is also calm, but the attitude of sattvic is high, very high, is close to liberation. This fellow miles away from liberation. So inactivity cannot be considered as sattvic. Inactivity is part of sattvic, but the attitude matters. So these three mindsets will define the attitude with which we work. Tumba kelsa itto, relax. You are not the doer. You have to work on. You have to operate. You have to go for rounds. You have to see OPD. You have so much of work throughout the day, or you have so many patients, so many students to manage, and each one is giving so much. Management is calling. I have to attend this committee, that committee. We have gone through all that, but then if you just change your mindset, that is rajasic, you have to do. But mindset, tale hing madkolo badlu, just mindset. I am not the doer. I will attend this meeting. Today, if I'm not well, I'm at unrest. Let anybody say anything, I will take rest. And morning we start with meditation, prayer, yoga, everything. Evening again I do. In between I will do. Then the life will be extraordinarily sattvic. Sattvic predominates, do the work with karma yoga. And to bring that karma yoga in action, to do the karma actions with a yogic attitude, you have to do some prayers and connect with the conscious in the morning and at night and during daytime. So this is the way we can make sattva predominant in our attitude. We can make sattva predominant. So this is and miscomprehension is another thing. Is miscomprehension is you expose sattva, rajas, tamas to the same situations. Their understanding will be different. The understanding, each one will understand from their own point of view. So I gave you that example of cleaning the glass. The husband was more sattvic. So what he did, he took an action and he cleaned. He did not complain. The wife was complaining. That is more of tamasic nature. So the same thing, it is perceived, it is understood by different people. Another example, Swami Aparajitananda has given. A professor wanted to demonstrate the effect of alcohol, it seems. So he brings one beaker which has got some worms. And when he pours alcohol, high concentration, of course, and some small, which are visible to the naked eye also. When he pours that, which are visible, okay. So his objective is alcohol will damage Okay, damage. So when he poured, the microbes got killed. Okay, microbes, they saw it, they became inactive. So two, three students were there. What did you learn from this? A Sattvic person said, it will damage any living being, including human being. So excessive alcohol is not good for health. Anta avunu conclusion. Tamasic person told, it seems any worms in our body, it kills. Therefore, alcohol is good for health. Anta avunu heltanante. So each person has his own perception based on his attitude towards life. Andre, it really requires a growth to understand the things as it is. So when we start understanding our own surroundings, then it becomes easier for us to understand the play of consciousness and Prakriti. So illi first now adana in our surroundings, we should demonstrate our maturity. And Sattvic is a real maturity. Sattvic is a real maturity. You observe your own attitude at different times in different situations, and how sometimes we just tell and then we come back, I should not have spoken like that, because at that time our mind will be tamasic or rajasic. We just speak something, we just give back defensively also, but it might hurt somebody. Our awareness iralla. Sattvic person will tell the same thing in a nicer way without hurting, because he wants to be in that state of calmness. So we have to observe. Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehabhrit tada uttamavidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. Now he talks about what is a fate, destiny of sattvic predominant people or sattvic mindset. If the embodied one, that means Dehabhrut. Embodied means like us, we have the body, no? Embodied one meets death when sattva is predominant. When we die, if we are in that sattvic mode, then he or she attains to pure regions of those who are the worshippers of the highest. Pure regions, andre after death, we our sukshma sharira, subtle body, no, with the atma, it lives. This body dies. Then where do we go? We have to take birth again. But in between those two, there is period when we go to Pitraloka, Yamaloka, where lokak hogtive now, depending on our evolution. This is what is told in Upanishads, I'm telling, because we don't know. We have to believe what he has told. And we believe Krishna, we believe Vyasa also. So he says, Yada sattve pravradetu pralayam. Pralayam here means not that pralaya, death. They are the dehabrat. Tada uttama vidan lokan. Uttama vidan lokan. Andre wherever people of highest knowledge, Rishi Munigalu, the people who are higher in evolution, they go, no, we reach that state, that loka we reach. So that is the destiny of a person who dies in sattvic mode. When we are dying, how do we know what are we thinking? You remember the story of Ajamila, no? We have discussed in Bhagavad this thing. So sattva predominant irbeku. Saibekadre sattva adike. When sometimes no, they say Ram Ram Andri, Krishna Krishna Andri, Ganga Jala Hakodu. When people are dying, people, the neighbors or relatives, no, they immediately, that's why they keep that Ganga at home. Ganga is supposed to be very pure. It reminds them. And usually, if the person is conscious and he has forgotten, then what happens is even the slightest stimulation, no, mostly there are some people who will not do that. They will be they immediately, oh correct, Narayana to the Saitan. So that becomes a sattvic manobuddhi, sattvic mindset. If you die when your sattva is predominant, then he will attain the place. It's called amalan prati. Amala means no mala, no dirt, pure. Pure means pure is what? Heaven. Heaven no alla, Vaikuntha tara, where everything is so clean, and where all great seers like Rushi Loka, Saptarshi irtarala alli. So you may go there and you become. He is not liberated, but he attains that destiny, that was location when he dies, and again to be reborn. Sattvic person is not liberated. If you remember, I have told you, he has to, because he will be still attached. Okay, person. So this is what it is. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate तथा प्रलीन tamasi mudhayonishu jayate. When one dies, when rajas predominates, active kutkondu adu ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Active is good only, but if he dies when he is active, and he will be born among those attached to actions. He will be born. So here also, no, he attains to spotless regions, and maybe the previous shloka I'm referring to, he may be born also in the next birth among the sattvic people, in the family which is very principled. They are not murderers, they are not thugs, they are not, with due respects, most of the politicians and like that, maybe politician, but who's into good activity. So like that. Here, if he dies when he's active, activity marta 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 is doing lot of things, then his ambition is to be active only. So just predominant mindset. He will be born in another family which is active, which are involved in many things. Not bad at all. Not bad at all still. But it will affect his, too much of activity will affect that. We have to think. We never say that Rajas is totally bad or Tamas is totally bad. They are required, because even when the Parabrahman starts his Srishti manifestation, there is a balanced Gunas. All the three are balanced actually. Sattva predominant irಬೋದು, but they are in some proportion. So if that is there, it is the right way of reaching liberation also. But uh, until we reach that state, we should have sattva as a predominant thing. We cannot be zero rajas, zero tamas. We cannot reach that state. So he says, if rajas is a predominant one, then when he dies, and so he will be born in the next birth among the people who are active. Then the last one is very interesting. Tatha pralinaha tamasi mudha. So similarly, dying in tamas, pralinaha means dying in tamas, he or she is born among the tamasic families, or he may go in deteriorate. Andre tamasika is also considered as animal-like. So he may even take birth in the subhuman species, mudha yonishu. It seems Swami Ranganathananji has given very good commentary. While the modern science says after human species, the man, that's the highest evolution, the modern science does not explain rebirth also. Rebirth and this higher evolution is not explained in our regular modern science. But this science, spiritual science, is very beautifully told, because it guards our actions. No? So it says, if you remain tamasic, without any change. In the Hubli, there is Murgamata. Anita must be knowing. Murgamata Swamiji, beautiful speech he has told. Heng bantu jiva hange hoitu anta. The way it came, no change. We lived throughout our life without any change. Yar bidru, yadru, satru, nothing. I will be like this. I will go tinodu unodu, because they're ignorant. If you are like that, but you are ignorant, but you have ample opportunities to learn around. You have ample opportunities to learn and correct. Now, one more thing is, Sattvic people, Rajasic people keep learning from their experiences. Tamasic people, the same experience, the same dukkha answer they don't learn, because the mantle is so thick, insensitivity is so much, inertia is so much, that I will not change. This is how I am. And this is what is wrong with my life. I'm happy. Dukkha another gottiralan. First of all, once a man understands what is dukkha, he has to go through that pain. Then he will start working and he evolves sensibly, not too emotional though. But that also is acceptable. Emotions irbeku. Emotions illa gode tara idre, it is not correct. So if a person is continues to remain in that tamasika, then he will be born in mudha yonishu, womb of a mudha. Mudha is a lowest intelligence, irrational. Again, tamasic people or animals, because if you are bare unnodu, tinnodu, malgodu, sex, if these are the characteristics of animal, so then why should I give? Why the Prakriti has designed in such a way that you must be aware, and you must evolve one ishtabra evolution torsidra, you will be given human birth, even if you are in tamasic. no change andre, then you are not fit to be a human. I will not, the prakriti will shift. The law of karma is designed that he will go into lower level of evolution. That means you understand how much important it is for a human effort. You have to work. So rajasic is a basic need to become sattvic. We have to be active. We should never be passive. We should work. Jasti or restless are you, then you come back. There are ways, but inactive, lazy. No, we should not. Then you will be born. And not only that, if somebody comes and tells, then you are not alert even to listen to the things. You avoid and you indulge in again and again. So in the same things, then animal tendencies and cravings, no, when they have to be satisfied. If you want to satisfy these things, eating, sleeping, and other activities, and physical attractions, then you go and have similar and the health. So moodha yoni is birth in such a state where there is no knowledge, absolutely no knowledge. Such species have only instincts, animal instincts ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. They have no knowledge. Knowledge comes only at the human level. When they perceive that I am born, ಏಸು ಕಾಯಂಗಳ ಕಳೆದು 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜೀವ ರಾಶಿಯಿಂದ ದಾಟಿ ಬಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ದಾಸರ ಪದ ಇದೆ. 84 lakh ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ದಾಸರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೋ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಡಾರ್ವಿನ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ 84 lakh species dati we have been given human birth. And human is unique in that we have buddhi, we have intellect. But if we want to cover it and we are egoistic, resistant to change, ashtu namge ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, go back to animal species. Moodha yonishu jayate. Very interesting actually. Very. So then next he says, now what is the outcome of the destiny health? You will be born there, you will be born here. Now adallade, what is our feeling, what comes out, and he has again given, and then with that we can stop for today. कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्. Fruit of good action is sattvic and pure. Good action brings sattvikata, or either ways. Sattvika manobuddhinda you do good actions. Good action in turn makes you sattvic and pure. Reflect consciousness, divinity. This is considered to be in Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna says, wherever there's a lot of sattvic, I am expressing more. Vibhuti means his expression. Krishna's consciousness expression, like I am Surya, I am Chandra, like that he says in sattvic people. So good action you keep doing, more consciousness will start reflecting and you will be pure. Then, but fruit of rajas is pain. Andre ಅಲ್ಲಿ awareness iralla ಅಲ್ಲಿ, and attitude is slightly different. So he says rajasic people, no, they are usually having this pain. More action, we cannot say that we will be without action, but unless that activity has that attitude, activity with attitude of sattvikata, then there is no pain. Only rajas, action, greed, ambition, anger, then you are bound to suffer. Ignorance is the fruit of tamas. Tamasic person actually does not suffer because he doesn't know what is suffering. He does not suffer. So most risky is rajasic. Though it comes above the level of tamasic, he is active. So he has to face the pain. But what is the plus point of this? When he feels that pain, or when we all have come like that only, no, to this level. We were rajasic, we suffered, we had pain. Then what is the solution for this pain? Then this is the solution. And how do we act now? What best I can, I will do. I will give my best. I will leave the rest to God. I will surrender to God. I am not the doer and the concept tagoltivi, and I am happy. This is the knowledge I have. After we have crossed the sattvic, or during daytime also, we may slip into rajasic without remembering these higher things during the day. Sometimes we may do that because we will not be aware all the time. That time there will be pain. But if we have sattva predominant, quickly we'll come back to a solution. And tamasika person, what is the fruit? Ignorance is a fruit of tamas. Ignorance, ama tamasik marta hoggane, he'll become more ignorant, away from knowledge, more tamasic. It's a vicious cycle, vicious circle. Tamasic, ignorance, tamasic. Rajasic, action, pain. Then he may either continue to act more, or he may go to sattvic. So what happens? No, my observation is when we are very active, and when we start solving problems, this is you see whether it appeals to you. We start acting and we suffer something, loss at the business, or I did not do well in my exams. We study more. Okay, we study again. We do it again, and then we do, to some extent the results are good and all. Sometimes how much ever we work, why am I not getting the results? Why am I not getting the results? I'm active, I'm working, I have to work. Action, Krishna says, don't be inactive, so I'm working, but the results are not there. So avaka pain agate. So action is to get the solution only, no? Then why it is bad? But something is missing there. What is missing is the connection to the conscious. Repeatedly we work and still we are not able, Andre. It is an indication that we connect with the consciousness. We connect to God. Simple words. Go and pray. ಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣ, ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು I have surrendered to you. You take over. How Draupadi did in her Vastraparana. So Rajasic people, if they get this attitude, then the divine grace will start flowing. And when they experience this, surrender has worked. Work without surrender, work with surrender for a Rajasic. When they start seeing the when it becomes more evident, no, observable changes will start coming after surrender. Then the Shraddha will develop. Then we grow, and then we want to be more and more in that. So during daytime, also during any time, when we don't find that it's working, classes are not happening, ideal are not happening properly, students are not listening, patients are not improving. Yesterday I shared one, I think so, in the group, surrender, how that doctor has treated aneurysm. And similarly, one doctor in Gujarat also, how he treated, I think she had a very bad, another cardiac condition only. If I get that, I will. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's photo he has put in his operation theater. So how that surrender helps, we never know. So that surrender and connection with divinity plus good actions are sattvic. So one more and we stop. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramadamo tamaso bhavato ajnanamevacha. So repetition agide idu salpa, but still it is from sattva arises wisdom in another way. Wisdom, another fruit of sattva is good action. Fruit of rajas is pain. Fruit of tamas is ignorance. Other than that, from sattva, on the contrary, comes wisdom also. Apart from good action, it leads to good action. Good action leads to sattva, but sattva also leads to wisdom. And from rajas comes the greed, and again delusion, ignorance arises from tamas. So we leave at this point, because I think we have crossed the time a little bit. So this is how we must understand and try to ascend in our own. This is, as I said, let's not judge others. Let us see where we are. Where do we stand today? Where I am tomorrow? Where I am during the working hours? How much of time I'm in sattva, how much in rajas, how much in tamas? Can I move a little bit? And how do I do that? So there are many ways. One is meditation, connecting, listening. Apart from that, there is also the food, there is a company, and other environmental influencing factors which are having profound effect on our mindset. Profound. Even though we want to change, something prevents. We shall take that in the next session. So I end here. Anybody wants to add? Second.